Okay. I think we'll go ahead with the session when the moderator joins. I am Guru Raj here. Good evening and good morning, whichever part of the world you're logged in from. Thank you so much for joining the Women's Economic Forum 2021. And I want to welcome the panelists as well as the viewers who are viewing both on the social media as well as here. Jayanti Ramanan, she's a social entrepreneur representing Seva International, and she's dialed in from the US. Jayanti, welcome.
Thank you.
Carol Quevedo, she's the CEO of Smart Advice, joined in from Colombia. Carol, welcome to the session. Looking forward to your part of the session. And I have Karen Rodriguez, who's the Director, Women's Economic Forum for Colombia 2022. She's also the chair of All Ladies League Global Networking Argentina. She's also director of the Signoplast SA. She's dialed in from Argentina. Karen, welcome. Naomi Osamedio, she's the CEO of Center Stage Company from Nigeria. She's dialed in from Nigeria as well. Thank you so much for taking time for coming on this show. And Karen Rodriguez, welcome from Colombia. Karen is also director for the Women's Economic Forum Colombia 2022, and she's also the chair of All Ladies League Global Networking Colombia. She's also director of Mujeres Violeta from Colombia. Karen, thank you for joining us here. So while we wait for Forum Nagori, who's also part of the session today and was supposed to be moderating the show from Tata Power Community Development Trust. You know, she's from India. She has to join us now. But before that, I think I will let you probably, Jayanti, we'll start with you on what does networking mean to you in the social entrepreneur space?
Excellent, thank you. First of all, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, in my line of work, before I joined social work about 13 years ago, I never knew the power of networking because most of my patients, when they come to me to the operating room, were heavily sedated, so nobody needed me to talk to them or understand them. Second, I was also a counselor and a psychologist. So 100% of the time they poured their hearts out to me and I made money just by listening to them. So I didn't have to do the power of networking there. Third level, where I was a teacher, where, you know, once the microphone is given, there is a joke among teachers that we don't know when to shut up. So these were the three combinations under which I started my protocol or my journey into social working. And the first level, I decided to challenge myself in 2009 as the chairperson for fundraising for Seva International. Didn't know anything about it, did not know a clue about what I'm supposed to say or whatever I was supposed to do. But within about 45 minutes, I was able to raise $1 million. So it is like the story, how we say that luck plays a big role and all of a sudden you are created to that level of fundraising guru or whatever it is. So this is how I started my social work project. But I've been involved in social work from childhood, and also helping someone else get better was one of the principal roles that I felt was very necessary for my lifestyle. So in 2013, I decided to venture out to India to see what is the plight of girl children there? Because I do work with the Gates Foundation and other organizations about the women, children, and the vaccination and the cultural differences and everything. When I did that for 6 months, when I traveled in all the rural areas, the fundamental thing I found was girls did not go to school due to lack of toilets. Okay. I said, such a simple thing would make a huge difference. But then my pride wouldn't allow me to go to network meetings and ask for money or connect with people about building toilets. Lo and behold, once I built up my confidence, the three pillars I think in my networking, the power of network is communication, confidence, and curiosity. Those were the three pillars which has made me successful in the past 13, 14 years to be doing whatever I'm doing so successfully across the globe, I should say. We have money coming from other countries besides United States, and more corporations are trying to connect with us. And the biggest reason is cross-cultural and cross, how can I put it, cross information technologies. For example, Oracle and Microsoft and Google and Intel. So interpersonal as well as relationship, and also building that kind of a network has strengthened my network position, and also it has put a very strong foundation of bricks that I will keep forever, because these are our repeat donors, and we have become more friends, and also on a personal level we are able to connect. That is the power of my network secret.
Thank you, Jayanti, and you wonderfully put it in the concept of 3C or C cube, whichever way you want to call it. I think that was a very good context setting for the session, and I can hear a sigh of relief now. Forum is on the show now. Forum, welcome to the show. She represents Tata Power Community Development Trust, and she's the person who's going to moderate the session for us. Over to you, Forum. I think Jayanti did a wonderful introduction of how the power, what does networking mean to her in the social entrepreneurship space. That is what Jayanti outlined to open the session. Over to you, Forum.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gururaj, and thank you for holding that space. I think, the network didn't allow me to log in at the right time, so I struggled for about 5 minutes. Apologies for that. And thank you, Jayanti. That was so inspiring to hear. I think you've really set the context in terms of saying that you act as this conduit for many forces to come together. And I think that's what networking is all about. So one of the contexts that I have been trying to set, even in the social workspace, and I also happen to be a co-social worker, Jayanti. So from the space of saying that what is the shared purpose? What is it that bring people together? And all of you, the illustrious panel here, has such diverse set of experiences and workspaces. So I would really like, the people, and my daughter insists on saying a hello. So I've just come back from work, and I thought this is again inclusiveness to let life be around us, as we women do so many things and juggle it all. So coming back to the space of saying that how each one of you as individuals have been using that power of collectives, or the power of a common and a shared purpose in your own workspaces, and how you connect seemingly unrelated dots. I would love to hear each one of you, and maybe we could go first with Naomi, then with Carol, then with Karen and Karin, in that order, if that's good for you all.
Hello, everyone, and greetings from Abuja, Nigeria. I am so honored to be here. The Women Economic Forum is family. It's home for me, and always a pleasure to be a part of the great work that is happening here. The power of networking, when I was preparing for today, there were a few things that really caught my attention, especially because looking back, I see myself as a product of this topic, right? 6 years ago, when I started live streaming online, nobody knew me outside my immediate environment meaning family and friends. I wasn't very particular about social media. I wasn't even sure what it was for. I had a Facebook account because it was trendy to have a Facebook account. And I remember getting to know about a beautiful platform called Periscope. And this was the introduction of live streaming. I don't believe Zoom was even existing. And it was so intriguing, right? That from the touch of a button, you could connect with people from around the world. I started saying, why be local when you can be global? Because I saw how just by simply leveraging the platform of Periscope, I could not just connect with the world, but actually network with people from around the world. Believe me, sisters, when I say that journey has taken me around 4 continents. I've become a 2-time TEDx speaker. I look back and each of those opportunities came to me because there was a relationship in between. So I like to start by saying networking is a shortcut. It's a shortcut. A lot of people would think of it and say, you know what, I mean, people are just evil. I don't need people, I'm good all by myself. I beg to differ. It is a shortcut to success. I can proudly say that. And there are lots of great people out there, especially in the digital space. And I said to myself, if I had an opportunity to share, I would definitely want to throw some insights on that, because some of the best and most powerful relationships I have today are with people that I met online that I have never met in person. That is just how powerful networking is. And of course, there is the etiquette of it, because it's not just about, meet someone today and tomorrow it's, can you do me this favor? There is an etiquette to it. And I wrote 2 things down. I think the first thing is to genuinely care about others. One of the ways the power of networking has found a place in my journey, in my life's work, is really coming first from a place of caring about others. It's 2 sides of the coin. You can't just show up and expect things to happen for you when you don't have a genuine concern for people. And the second thing quickly is the importance of you showing up and giving value. So when I came online and I started realizing how powerful this platform was, I became an evangelist. I started screaming on the rooftop for anyone who cared to listen. A lot of people thought I was crazy because I was constantly with my phone and they didn't understand, what is she always doing? This was when there was no Facebook Live, there was no Instagram Live. I am too sure there was no Zoom. And I was an early adopter for the African continent. As a matter of fact, on my 6-month journey, my channel trended and I became known as the African Queen of Periscope. Again, networking is a shortcut. And I believe for as many people who are watching us live and as many people who are connecting with us, even via the replay, it is definitely something you want to be intentional about moving into a new year, a new season. Now more than ever, we are more interconnected through technology. I mean, this is me here in Nigeria, and I know one of us is in Colombia. We've got someone else in India. We're just right here, right now, in the same room. We're networking and we're speaking about the power of networking. After this event, it's very likely I will connect even further with some of the beautiful women here. Maybe in a year, we would have a partnership that will allow us to change the world together in a more powerful way. Like, it is a ripple effect that just goes on and on and on and on. So I'll just stop here for now.
Absolutely. Well said.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Naomi. Thanks for sharing from your heart. It touches us all. Over to you to, build your thoughts further, Carol, on all that's being shared.
Okay. Thank you. Are you listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. Thank you to all the team of the Women Economic Forum for having me here. It's my pleasure. And first of all, I want to congratulate you for this amazing organization, all the project that you just did and all the achievements, taking so many women together. Congratulations and thank you. Thank you for this amazing job. So I couldn't agree more with Naomi. I think that definitely we are in a in a very important moment in our story to use networking as a shortcut, because we don't want to wait for years for gender equality or 100 years more for gender equality. So this is the moment in which we need to take advantage of networking more than ever. I'm going to have an approach of this topic, talking about two forces that are affecting the world in general. Those two forces are affecting too the way we interact to each other. The first one is the fourth industrial revolution, and the second one is all the effect post-pandemic. Both of them affecting women and how we behave as women, as a professionals, and all the fields in our life. First of all, the fourth industrial revolution, with all the increase in technology, big data, cloud computing, in artificial intelligence, and all the movements that we're having in technology, in all the industries, in social media, how we interact, as Naomi was saying, are affecting, or it's affecting basically the way we need to work, the way we need to interact and connect to each other. The World Economic Forum has found, analyzing 26 countries and about 15 industries in the world, they found a top 10 of skills that we need to develop in the future or before 2025 if we want to succeed in the fieldwork. The first, some of them are related to self-management, technology, etc. But it's amazing to see that 5 of them, 5 out of 10, are essentially about problem solving. And we can solve problems alone when those are basic problems, maybe issues that we can solve alone with our own knowledge, with our own expertise. But the majority of the problems that we're solving in real life are complex. And if we need to solve complex problems, we need each other. And that's why we need to network in a very, very intelligent way. If we need to solve complex problems, we need new knowledge, we need new expertise. So in this case, we basically need to network other women if we need to solve even a problem at home, even if our problem is going through a divorce, or maybe our problem is to increase our sales in our own company, or maybe we need to improve our professional profile to get a new job. Whatever is the problem we're facing, we need each other, okay? So this is a skill that it's not optional. We need to develop the skills of networking. That was the first point. The second point is about all this effect post-pandemic. Women have been affected in a huge way. Violence against women and girls has intensified. The progress towards gender equality has been affected by COVID-19. And there is evidence in this part of the world, in Latin America, for example, from Brazil, Chile, Costa Rica, Mexico, that shows that partner women with children have experienced sharper drops in labor force participation than men, particularly women living with children under 6 years of age. So basically what's happening is that we are again at home. And many women are facing, and we are dealing again with house chores and the burnt out, and we are exhausted because we are fighting inside ourselves because we want to be mothers, we want to be good wives, or whatever we are at home, but we want also we need also to fulfill our purpose. Okay, so basically what we have now is in the world, women burnt out, exhausted, frustrated professionally, more dependent on men. We have lost independence. We are being more insecure because if we lose our jobs, if we are more dependent on men, we lose our self-worth, right? So in this case and in this sense, I think that networking acts as a giant force, or could act as a giant force that mobilizes millions of women to believe in themselves, to establish healthy limits in their relationships, to prepare themselves in high performance, emotional intelligence, and for sure professional and business skills also. So we need to work as a leaders in our fields. We need to look how we can network with women that are needing this, because
Absolutely.
maybe we're broken. We are all broken inside, and we need to heal each other in all the areas of our lives. Thank you.
Wonderful, Carol. I think you've so beautifully outlined the different spaces that are straddled both by women, by men, and inclusive of all the other genders that we now also look at. So I think the space of identity, the space of what all do you play as a role in your life, and all that comes together with that powerful force of networking that you spoke about. And networking is a word, and it's an English word, networking plus plus, where there was care spoken about, there was authenticity, there was purpose, there is solidarity, there is building on each other's work. So networking for what? And networking towards what? And each of us have different whats, and yet the science and the art of networking for meaning, networking for identity remains pretty much, it has, you know, threads running across. And that's so beautiful to see. It runs across countries, it runs across different life stages, it runs across different professions. And that's what pulls us all together. So over to you, Karen, to hear your thoughts.
Okay, dear forum, I'm going to act as a translator for Karen and Karin. They chose their language to interact in this meeting. So if you don't mind, I'm going to translate for them and for you. Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. That's
Very
really
good.
nice.
So Karen, Forum te está preguntando cuáles son tus pensamientos acerca del networking en general, cómo podemos nosotros utilizar el networking con propósito.
Bueno, pues quiero darles un gran saludo, muy buenas noches para ustedes, para quienes estamos en esta parte de América, muy buenos días. Soy Karen Brujés. Gracias Forum por esta invitación al Women Economic Forum, tal como Carol había agradecido antes, y a este gran equipo de mujeres maravillosas que nos inspira para entender lo que significa el poder del networking.
Thank you so much for having me here. As Carol was saying, thank you for this amazing event, the Women Economic Forum, and thank you for facilitating this space to have women understanding the power of networking.
Lo primero que quiero compartirles es que el poder del networking está en la conexión con nosotros mismos, en la conexión con nuestro interior.
The first thing I want to share is that the power of networking is in how we connect to ourselves in first place, how we know ourselves.
Cómo el reconocer nuestras habilidades, nuestras capacidades y aquello que debemos potenciar nos permite conectar de corazón a corazón con las diferentes personas alrededor del mundo.
Okay, how if we understand our skills or our abilities and what we need to improve, allow us to connect heart to each other.
Cuando entendemos que el networking no solamente es la posibilidad de conectar con personas alrededor del mundo para algo muy puntual, sino que es una oportunidad de vincularnos en la vida de otros, de soñar con ellos, de llevar a que nuestros sueños se hagan realidad y también los sueños de otros, es donde comenzamos a transformar el mundo.
When we understand that networking is not only to connect to people around the world because we need something specific or we are going to interact about something specific, we need, when we understand that it goes beyond that and that we are connecting to a person that is dreaming of something as we are dreaming of something, then we can have this approach of helping others to fulfill their dreams as we want to fulfill ours.
Y es aquí muy importante para lograr llegar a esta conexión, el que podamos fortalecer una de las más grandes habilidades, que es la comunicación. La comunicación como esa gran herramienta que nos permite y nos posibilita entender claramente cuáles son las necesidades de las otras personas y cómo nosotros podemos allí hacer algo para que esa necesidad deje de serlo y pase a ser una realidad.
Okay, and it's here how this kind of connection with others takes us to the most important skill that we need to develop, and it's about communication. How through communication and this amazing tool, we can identify all the needs that others have and how we can help them to fulfill and to cover this need they have and help them become, this need become a reality.
Por eso, cuando estamos en este proceso de conectarnos, de lograr generar espacios de networking, vale la pena preguntarnos algo como lo que Foran nos dice, el por qué. ¿Cuál es el propósito de establecer relaciones con las otras personas? El cómo lo vamos a hacer. ¿Cómo vamos a generar ese vínculo a partir que era un poco lo que nos compartía también Naomi, de las herramientas tecnológicas, de la conexión, de esto que nos permite de eliminar cualquier tipo de frontera y qué específicamente estamos haciendo para que esa relación que comenzamos a construir con otros sea una relación que vaya en el corto, mediano y largo plazo.
Okay, so while we are in the process of networking, we should ask ourselves, what is the purpose of this networking? What is the meaning of it? How we are going to do it? What are the technological tools, as Naomi was mentioning? What are the technological tools that we are going to use? How we are connecting to each other so we can use this relationship to give a sense of each other's needs and desires.
Y es por eso que el networking lo resumo como la capacidad de conectarnos desde adentro, con quienes somos, con nuestra mejor versión, con la posibilidad de construir esa mejor versión para conectarnos con las mejores versiones de las personas alrededor del mundo. Una conexión de adentro que tiene gran impacto afuera y que si nosotros identificamos esto, vamos a poder crear relaciones desde el amor, relaciones desde el respeto, relaciones desde la compasión, relaciones desde el trabajo en conjunto y así vamos a transformar el mundo.
Okay. So as a summary, we need to develop this ability to connect with ourselves and to summarize networking as the ability of connect first to ourselves, to develop our the best version of ourselves, to identify what is the best version of others also, to identify what is the power that it's inside of us, outside of us, to create relationships from love, acting from love, respect, and working in teams, working together to change the world.
Carol, a ti infinitas
you.
gracias por la oportunidad de permitir llevar este mensaje. Gracias por ser una mujer de luz que me ha permitido conectar mi mensaje alrededor del mundo.
You're welcome. Karen is saying thank you for allowing her the opportunity to share this message even in her language. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I think it's beautiful how your heart can listen beyond languages, huh? How all of us could feel and sense even before the translation came in. So thank you so much for making us aware of the power to go beyond languages and the power to connect when you really wish to. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Carol, for doing that beautiful translation for us. Over to you, Karen, for your thoughts on how networking has played a role in your workspace and your life, and how you go about building more with others.
Ok, Karin, Forum te está invitando a compartir tus pensamientos acerca del networking, tu experiencia con networking en general. ¿Cuál es tu posición frente al networking con propósito?
Bueno, ante todo, muchas gracias. Hola, chicas. Gracias por la paciencia, por permitirnos este desliz de comunicarnos con nuestra traductora de lujo. Estamos muy felices desde Latinoamérica de poder estar acá para el mundo.
Thank you so much for your patience, even though we need to translate, and for allow us to be here and to share from Latin America, the other part of the world.
Lo bueno de hablar última es que ya todas dijeron lo que yo quería decir. O sea que tengo menos trabajo ahora.
So it's so nice to speak at the end because you already said what I wanted to say. So I have less effort now to speak. Okay.
No, las escuchaba y de cada una puedo tomar un poquito, porque yo les cuento que yo entiendo inglés, me trabo para hablar, pero entiendo todo lo que dijeron, lo entendí perfecto.
All that you have spoken, I've understood perfectly. It's not, I am not so fluent speaking, but I am understanding everything.
Y estoy de acuerdo con todo lo que ustedes dijeron, especialmente cuando hablaba Naomi. Yo pensaba que efectivamente el networking es un pasito corto para comunicarnos con el mundo.
I understood everything and I agree with you in everything, especially with Naomi. I agree with her that it's a shortcut to help us to reach what we need in the world.
A mí particularmente esto de participar en el mundo jardín, como le digo yo, y a quien le agradezco eternamente que no está ahora, pero todo mi amor hacia ella, es la posibilidad de conectarnos con mujeres maravillosas en el mundo, mujeres poderosas, con las cuales podemos trabajar y franquear todas las fronteras existentes.
I'm so grateful of participating in the world, in the Harbin's world, as I said, to this world. And as I say, all my love to her, all my love to them, to you. And I'm grateful to the possibility to connect with women from all around the world with this purpose.
Creo que lo más importante es ser conscientes del potencial de esto que nos permite a nosotras conectarnos a través del mundo y, como decían antes, poder pedir ayuda para lograr un propósito y estar todas conectadas en función de lo mismo y saber que estamos a un clic de la computadora o del teléfono y tenemos en el otro lado del mundo alguien que está dispuesta a trabajar por lo mismo que nosotras y ayudarnos.
I think that the most important thing is to have this conscious and realize this potential of connecting, to ask for help, to achieve all the objectives we have, to fulfill the purpose, and to connect, thinking about the same objective and understanding that we are just in a click of distance from each other to connect than to solve what we need to solve.
Y la importancia también que mencionaban de cuidar y de pensar y estar pendientes de los demás a través de una pantalla o de alguien que tal vez yo no hubiese conocido de otra manera, y ahora, gracias a esta posibilidad que tenemos digital, estamos tan cerquita, pero cuidarnos todas y estar todos pendientes de los demás, así, sentirnos que estamos al lado unas de otras y ustedes están a miles de millones de kilómetros de distancia.
Okay, here we have the importance of take care of ourselves, the importance of thinking about others, that we, through this screen, we are connected, we are nearer, we are taking care of ourselves, realizing what our needs are, and feeling that even though we are in a huge distance, physical distance, we are here together, very near to each other, to help us and to connect.
Y aprovechar sobre todo las redes que hoy por hoy creo que descubrimos que es imposible o es muchísimo más fácil lograr nuestros sueños juntas. Entonces aprovechar todas las redes que existen de mujeres que trabajan con un objetivo, con otro, pero todas potenciarnos para lograr, como dijo Karen, un mundo mejor.
Excellent. So Karen is making a call to take advantage of all the networking that we have created to discover how we can achieve our dreams together, how we can increase the potential that we have and the inner potential that we have inside of us to fulfill all the objectives that we have from every part of the world. And as Karen said, to contribute of changing this world.
Gracias.
Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you, Carol, again. I think that beautifully sums up all that we have been saying in terms of networking as an influence that we leverage. Networking is also getting influenced ourselves, and that interplay of forces that happen for a purpose again. And I would love to hear thoughts from whoever wishes to go first in terms of how have you in your real life and in your experiences experienced this interplay of being able to work, influence each other, and that negotiating space where more could be achieved than what you started out with. So networking is not about just fulfilling your own need, but also saying that how is fresh ground discovered out of that process, and always more gets created. It's a multiplier of a certain sort. Mm-hmm. And I would love to hear more thoughts from your experience base.
If I may go first, I want to second Naomi's thought process. It's not about yourself. It is about the other person. So when you go, you have your agenda, but it's buried deep inside. The first meeting is going to be who's who on the icebreaker and clear the air so that each one of us can trust each other. So honesty, sincerity, listening power, patience, and also willingness to listen is one of the key powerful tools for successful networking. Creating that relationship. We go to so many meetings as leaders and we collect so many cards and everything. We come home, our brain is a mush, okay? We don't know who does what, where do anything happens. One of my mentors told me, take a couple of minutes every 10 cards you collect, go to the ladies' room, write on the card something that is key to you to connect to that person. Okay, probably it's her kindness. Probably it's her willingness to listen to you. Probably it's the willingness to invest. Probably it's a willingness to come and speak at your event. But whatever that is, you need to put that little note so you can reconnect with that person. That is the most important thing in networking. You go to the meetings, you forget about everybody. Everybody is going to forget you too. And the second thing I learned is networking is a fundamental thing to human breathing. Network has to be like how we take our breath. This is a conversation from a 3-year-old at the playground. So the 3-year-old is telling his mother, Mama, my birthday is coming up and I want you to get this cake. So the mother goes, why? What is the reason, honey? She goes, Finley's mom told me, or Finley told me that her mom gets this cake from the special person who puts in all good ingredients and they mix match a lot of things. And then I want that cake for my birthday. Networking began right there. Okay, we connected a baker to 2 families. Now the word of mouth will connect to 10 others. Today, especially with the COVID season, if you look at it, we are connecting globally at every point of our day. You're on the phone, somebody's connecting with you. You are taking advantage of that. It should not be taken very lightly. We should put a thought process into it and then be again and again and again very genuine about it. And if you're working with the corporations, you need to know where their pulse is, what is happening there. I'll give you a simple example. We applied for a huge grant to Coca-Cola. And my whole thing is empowering girl children with education through toilet, sanitary pads, and empowerment through self-defense and everything. Coca-Cola's totally opposite plan. Their only plan is conservation of water. I will never go and reach out to them in spite of having 100 meetings for Coca-Cola to invest in my project. So don't waste your energy before you go to the network meetings. Find out from the guest list or the corporations where their pulse rests. So if it aligns with your ideology, that is when we can meet and create a partnership. So it is also a lot of intelligence quotient, and as women, we are emotional quotient and as well as intelligent. So we need to sense that and attend as many network meetings as possible. For some reason, I passed the mothering stage, but I'm part of a mothers group of medical professionals. Or we are part of the market group where we are trying to exchange whatever is mine. Now somebody else has a new kid. I said, hey, don't buy anything. I have everything stored in my attic. Let me send it to you. At the end of 3 months, you bring it back to me and it will go into the attic to be given to somebody else. So these are all some of the basic networking system that we could use in our professional lives as well. And that has been some of my very strong suits when I go speak to various organizations and individuals. And this World Women's Economic Forum has opened doors for me in seeing so many women leaders. Sometimes I will think of myself alone as the highest feminist you can ever find, and to break the gender barriers. You know, I work very hard to do that. And when you come across so many leaders, it is very electric, the power. And it is absolutely phenomenal to meet each and every one of you. And again, to quote Naomi, we don't know how we will partner in a year or so if our ideologies meet. So it's such a great opportunity, and I want to thank the Women Economic Forum for including me as part of the panel, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful journey so far. Thank you, each and every one of you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jayanti. That was such a beautiful sharing. And I would love to hear more of your, whoever wishes to go next in terms of sharing how networking has played out for you in what you have gone out to achieve. Yes, Carol.
Yeah, okay. Networking has been essential part of my professional life. I used to have like a maximum of 1 year or 1 year and a half in each position that I had in the corporate world, and always going up. It was amazing. But basically what I had is not only my titles, not only that I was a professional and my master's degree, but also the relationships that I had with people, and relationships that are not only focused on what I needed, but how I can serve. And I think that is the essential part of networking, how we can serve others. Imagine a world in which we are thinking how to serve each other and only how to serve each other, we all can fulfill our dreams, our needs would be fulfilled, completely fulfilled. So basically it's how we think first, how we think in serving others all the time without any interest, without expecting a reward. Okay, how we can help. And the other part is that networking, it's so important in women's life that we need to make a call to network. So I'm going to explain this. Maybe there is a lady in a country that doesn't know that she needs to network, that she needs to connect to others to solve her issues. She doesn't know it. So we need to make a call. We need to find the women that we need to help. We need to find the women that need to connect to others in order to improve her life. We need to find them. So networking not only from the ability to serve each other, but also how we make a call to network and how we call others to network. And the other part here is basically that networking is based on relationships. It's basically how we relate to each other, right? Mm-hmm. And relationships are essential part of our happiness. Actually, there are some research, recent research that I could share with you that found that we crave interactions in the same region of our brains where we crave food. And another study showed we experience social exclusion in the same region of our brain where we experience physical pain. So how important are relationships for our happiness and our stability, our mental health? So in that sense, we definitely need to create and maintain relationships. It could be like a monumental task. And maybe if we have lost our jobs, it may be we have lost our self-worth, the last thing we want to do is to talk to other people because we don't feel like we have value to give. So that's why it's so important to call women to connect. So it's to realize that it's critical for health and well-being. So we need to consider how we can be there for others, how we can invest some time to listen to others' needs and to understand that we need to connect just in the sense of serving others. Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Awesome.
And I think it's servant leadership in its true spirit, Carol. And I think this outreach that you spoke about is beyond gain, is beyond trying to get something out of that equation. And I think this is what Jayanti was mentioning as EQ of the women, or your ability to make an outreach which is so inclusive. And it's so beautiful when you say that there are women in so many parts of the world who do not have the ability to put a hand out to say, please help me. And the more you travel into the rural areas of different countries, and for India for that matter, a huge number of women, just by feeling the force of another lady having lived through limitations or having stretched their limitations, gain so much inspiration and purpose. And it's like a lighthouse, you know. And if there are many lighthouses out there, the world would definitely be a brighter place. And lighthouses can be both men and women. And I want to bring in that component of saying that within our desire for women empowerment, within our ability to work a lot as women cohesively with each other, how do we bring in great sponsors, great male colleagues, and make sure that we again co-create without being exclusive? How do we be inclusive of all genders as we grow as women? And I would love to hear some final thoughts on that. I think we have about 5 to 8 minutes to wrap up, and I would love to hear whoever wishes to go on this bit.
This is for Karen, and Karen, Forum está invitando básicamente a los últimos pensamientos en estos 5 últimos minutos, si alguna de ustedes también quiere compartir.
Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias. Y voy a resumir en cómo veo el networking, además de la oportunidad de comunicar. El networking nos permite crear una familia con personas que no conocemos en muchas ocasiones, pero con quienes debemos compartir valores como el amor, donde debemos sentirnos en un espacio de seguridad que nos lleve al crecimiento desde la transparencia en redes entre mujeres de sororidad y, por supuesto, potenciada por grandes hombres. Entonces, el networking nos lleva a sentirnos en casa, a sentirnos en hogar, a sentirnos en familia.
Okay, very good. So in addition to what I said about how networking or how communication is a very important part of networking, I would like to share that networking or our networking is also a family, and it acts as a family in which, in a place in which we share values as love, a place in which we feel secure, we feel supported, and a place that takes us to thrive, to improve our networking of solidarity between and among women. And we have, for sure, men also participating in this. And this place in which we feel as we were at home. We are with our family, and in a place in we can share our more deep thoughts and feelings.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I think this feeling of being at home within your own skin, feeling of being at home within a larger world. And we have a beautiful saying in India called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means the world is my family. And if you can feel that you stand for global earth, you stand for humanity, you stand for humaneness, you find your roots and you can put them where you like. So this feeling of being home is such a beautiful way of wrapping up our session. And thank you so much. I would hand over to Gururaj, and thank you, Women Economic Forum, for bringing such beautiful people and thoughts together. Over to you, Gururaj.
Thank you, Forum. It was wonderful moderation, and thanks to your daughter as well, who's 20 years earlier into the World Women's Economic Forum. And it was wonderful having her as also on the show briefly. I think we saw the power of actual networking demonstration happening while the call was happening, right? All email addresses being exchanged, telephone numbers being exchanged, and what better demonstration of networking than Forum from India, Jayanti from US, we have Carol from Colombia, Carol and Karen from Colombia, Karen from, Naomi from Nigeria, and Karen from Argentina. So, yeah, so it was a real demonstration and a good way to demonstrate networking as well. And what came out common among all the speakers was the passion when all of them were speaking, all speaking from their heart. Thank you so much on behalf of the Women Economic Forum 2021. In the category of excellence, leadership and excellence, we want to award the Exceptional Leader of Excellence to Carol, Naomi, Karen, Jayanti, and Forum for doing a wonderful session. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. This is a virtual award and will be sent to you by email shortly. And thank you so much for Forum for moderating the show, and for all. Thank you all for taking time to share your thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll keep